Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Did Moses Kuria play any role in the defeat of the united opposition candidate in Mbeere North? Because Moses Kuria is being accused of being used by William Ruto to aid the UDA candidate to win in that election. In this video, I want us to figure out whether Moses Kuria really aided the UDA candidate. Because we all know that government can always use several tricks. The first trick they can use, which they used in this election, is to rig. The truth is, the united opposition failed to protect their votes in Mbeere North. Number two, they can always infiltrate the camps using NIS. And I can assure you, the united opposition candidate, Newton Karis, was infiltrated heavily. And everything they were strategizing, William Ruto and UDA were getting real time. Number three, there's always the vote buying. I'm not so sure whether in this country we've witnessed the level of vote buying which was witnessed in Mbeere North. And lastly, they can also sponsor more candidates to divide the other camp. For example, if they realize that Karis, and this is why Moses Kuria is being dragged, if they realize that Karis was popular, and through their opinion polling, they realized that the margin was not that big, and therefore, if they sponsor that candidate, then that candidate will eat into those votes. Then they will always do that. As a matter of fact, even in the last election, there were people who were sponsored to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. But the question is, did Moses Kuria play any role in that defeat? First of all, let us look at what Moses Kuria posted. Let us look at what Moses Kuria posted earlier in the day. Moses Kuria is a very interesting politician. This is what he posted. I am amused by those saying the Chama cha Kazi party and myself are on a mission to divide votes in Mbeere North. I have several questions. Question number one, did we have a deal with anyone that we failed to honor? Were we even approached by anyone for a deal and we declined? He's also asking here, we picked Honorable Duncan Mbui after he was dropped by DCP. Why did they drop him? UDA united all aspirants that lost to Wamudende in the nominations. Why didn't the opposition do the same? For those who followed my earlier analysis today, I opined that one of the mistakes Rigathi Gachagua and Muturi committed was their failure to bring on board all the aspirants, especially from the united opposition. Because I strongly believe that Karis was actually imposed by Muturi. Number three, there were 5 other candidates other than Karis, Wamudende and Mbui. Who sent these other 5? That's a very important question. And he's also asking, I was the only leader from outside Mbeere who campaigned for Mbui. The Karis team had Rigiji, Kalonzo, Eugene, Natembeya, Matiang'i, Karua, Kivuti, Muturi, Mukunji, Methu, and others. How do I garner 2,800 votes when I am alone enough to spoil your votes? Again, he's asking that important question. And he's also asking here, how does the almighty, holy, united opposition allow UDA to garner 15,000 plus votes in Mount Kenya region and then blame one with only 2,480 votes? I'm also asking myself that question because you can't blame the Chama cha Kazi candidate for winning 2,000 votes. Well, there were other 15,000 votes which went to the other side. So which meant something was wrong somewhere. And it's concluding, Chama cha Kazi was formed on 17th August 2021. We have been around long before other parties. To the best of my knowledge, the business of parties is sponsoring candidate. Should we branch off and start selling brass? So Moses Kuria is actually alleging that he's being accused for something which he did not. In this video, I want to give my opinion about Moses Kuria and, of course, the accusations against him. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, was Moses Kuria used to split the opposition? As a matter of fact, that's always a strategy. But I doubt if that strategy worked here. One of the things UD would have done was to reach out to Duncan Mbeere, because Duncan Mbeere was the DCP candidate, remember? He was very popular on the ground, remember? DCP is the most popular party in Mbeere North. Then they were told, your candidate is not going to run. We are going to sponsor the DP candidate. So I want to still believe up to now that most of DCP candidates and supporters, I want to believe that most of the DCP supporters actually failed to vote for the DP. But the question is, did Moses Kuria play a role in the defeat? Let us look at some of the issues Moses Kuria is being accused of. Moses Kuria is being accused of picking the DCP candidate to run. Remember, this DCP candidate was locked out. Moses Kuria at one time sponsored a candidate against Jubilee in Kiamba, in Juja, and that candidate ended up winning. At that time, Uhuru Kenyatta was the sitting president of the Republic of Kenya. So in my own opinion, I strongly believe that Moses Kuria felt that the DCP candidate was very popular, and that if he picked him and packaged him and campaigned well for him, his chances of winning were going to be high. It's unfortunate for him that candidate did not win. But I think you can't accuse Moses Kuria just on the account that he picked a candidate dropped by the United Opposition. The Ruto I know would have went and picked this guy. And I can assure you, if they had picked this guy, probably the margin would have been wider. The second thing Moses Kuria is being accused of is the total number of votes. The difference. Leo Mudende garnered 15,802. Newton Karis garnered 15,308. A difference of less than 500. Duncan Mbeere garnered 2,480. So the winner defeated the runners-up with 500 votes. Then number 3 garnered 2,480. So it's easier to claim that if the guy was not running, probably those votes would have tilted the equation, which is the truth, but to whose favor? You never know. Maybe these guys would still have voted for Wamudende. That is the honest truth. So again, you can't accuse Moses Kuria on the account of the vote difference. My expectation, and I think I've expressed it, was that DCP and DP were going to win overwhelmingly, so that even if the government wanted to rig in Mbeere North, it was going to make it impossible for them. So you can't accuse Moses Kuria and his party of winning 2,500 votes. Maybe these are people who protested, such that if this guy had not contested, they would have voted for the UD candidate. And of course, since Moses Kuria left William Ruto's government, a lot of people have been suspicious of him. That the reason why he was kicked out from being economic advisor was that they wanted him to join the United Opposition and then be the one now to feed the government with information. And that Mbeere was now part of the first assignment. I don't know how true that is. But if you were to ask me, Moses Kuria really wanted this seat. If he had this way, he would have won it for himself. And maybe now start using that to negotiate even with Ruto. And lastly, the opposition failed to win the seat. And they must look for an excuse. And the easiest excuse is that we were rigged out. Moses Kuria, candidate, failed us, that if he had not sponsored him, probably those votes would have gone to us. Ladies and gentlemen, those excuses by the opposition will not help. The opposition must just go back to the drawing board and figure out the best strategy. They must do that. Figure out the best strategy to win the votes. Until next time, this is Lima Queen. But for me, I doubt if Moses Kuria was used in this election to divide the votes. No. Until next time, this is Lima Queen. Bye-bye.